This is quite perfect, actually. After we did this one here, this is on the Darul Islam shooting in New York. It's quite perfect for me to go from here to the what is known as Museum Peršman, Österreich, Koroška, KARNTEN, Carinthia, La Carinthia. This is where der österreichische Oberführer von der Bellen, and that's a Habsburg, is a deputy. Von der Bellen. It's like Ursula von der Leyen, but it's Bellen. It's not Leyen, it's a Bellen. Not Leyen, it's a Bellen. 81 Jahre altige Josef Fritzl. You guys know about the Giuseppe Fritzl? Remember this guy? This is also aus Österreich. He's from Amstetten, Austria. And von der Bellen is from Vienna, Österreich. Peršman Museum. Is located right along the Slovenian-Austrian border, just like this. It's about maybe it's 2 kilometers from the Slovenian border. Yeah, you can walk, and they did walk to the Austria. That stuff was happening, talking about Slovenian politicians in this case. KUČAN, Milan. KUČAN. Talking about Milan KUČAN, talking about his deputies. So you can see where that is located right here. Österreich. And right there is Slovenia. Slovenia! I have no respect for Austria anymore. This used to be my favorite country. I thank my lucky stars, and they are not very lucky, but honestly, I am, and I want to say this on a camera, I feel quite fortunate that I was not born in Austria or that I immigrated to Austria. Today I feel good about it, especially when I consider the Liberland, etc., etc. It's all good. I did not miss on anything. Peršmanhof. Peršmanhof is the location where the Slovenian people who gathered at this location to commemorate the killing of 11 members of the family done by the Nazis. It's no shit, there's no Google map here. No. Oh, that's too fucking bad. Why would you, talking to the Google people, Sergei Mikhailovich Brin or Larry Page, why would you guys not do some scouting around here with the Google Maps and shit? I mean, these people were not involved in MK Ultra. These people were involved in lynching since I was child. It almost goes into the time when I was baby. This is a well-known torture location to Slovenian side, with all the neighbors in the area involved in severe forms of torture. This place here. And all the neighbors in the area is all Slovenian. Slovenia! Let's do some of this business here. In exactly same fashion as to the New York City police tried to cover up for Mr. Islam, in exactly same fashion, Mr. Islam wanted to know how he's going to disappear from the picture during MK Ultra. He wanted to know how he's going to disappear from the picture. He was very worried about it. In exactly identical way, Herr von der Leyen from Vienna, from Austria, Gospod von der Bellen, figure out he's going to do a cover-up for the criminals who live in this area here, so-called Железна Капля, Eisenkappel. This big revolution. Huh! I don't see anything all of a sudden. It's impossible. It's surreal. This shit is fucking surreal. Totally surreal. Really, totally surreal. The only thing I got to read today is this shit here. And this was the biggest news yesterday. The Austrian police raided this gathering, this commemoration, where there were it's called the anti-fascist camp, organized within the organization of Club of Slovenian Female Student and Male Student on Vienna. Is going these days. Yeah. Von der Bellen warned me about this. No, you know that song? No, oh no. Oh no, no. I don't know the song, but here's the song. Antifascistični tabor. I am just gonna like this. I would just go and I would just copy paste this stuff because it's too fucking stupid. It had nothing to do with reality. Zero with reality. From Slovenian to English, and then we click here the button and we'll read.
An anti-fascist camp organized by the Slovenian Students' Club in Vienna, which is currently taking place in the Peršman Museum area in Carinthia, Austria, was marked by an incident. Police visited the camp and tried to list participants who were allegedly obstructing the proceedings. The Austrian newspaper Kronenzeitung and the APA news agency report.
Alright. You heard. There is nothing else I would want to add. You can also read this if it's easier for you. Big news. A big news when police raided this occasion here and they demanded people to identify themselves. Austrian police did. This is on the Austrian side of the border. It says here that they entered without any provocation, and it appears they were very abrupt in manner. Let me explain.
The club announced that the police broke into the camp without provocation and took a list of everyone present. Meanwhile, the Kronenzeitung newspaper citing the Austrian Carinthia Police Department, states that the police, accompanied by employees of the Federal Office for Foreigners and Asylum, arrived at the location on suspicion of administrative offences. When they tried to identify around 60 camp participants, they allegedly encountered resistance and were allegedly physically attacked.
Oh, that I didn't know. That's an interesting, but I am just going to put it plain and simple. This was one of the main torture locations for Milan KUČAN, for this man here, his deputy Robert GOLOB. It's a Dr. Robert GOLOB. It's a Dr. Robert GOLOB. He's very proud about his doctoratum. There you go. He even cut his hair, and he now looks, cosmetically, he looks completely normal. I accent this because this Čuš, as he presented himself as, Čuš is a derogatory language that you would use for the Slovenes. And I was very, very detailed about what exactly that translates to on the blog. I'm gonna put the link right down below. He was extremely proud about completely different haircut. He maintained different styles during MKH, and he totally prided himself on that. This is Dr. Robert GOLOB here that you see here. And he sure did everything possible that he would also match those guys. Is the name Orange? I don't know. Clockwork Orange, together with his compadre Milan KUČAN, his brother Gregor Golobic. This is what went on inside of our house. And so the Čuš came very, very handy to him, because Slovenia was hiding behind three issues.
There was me, that is Alex, and my three droogs, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dim. And we sat in the Korova milk bar trying to make up our razuta.
This is almost exactly what went on inside of our house. If you watch this video, if you watch this movie, whatever it is, I did not even watch, I just watched what you see here. I feel that then you would exactly get an idea about what exactly I was dealing with inside of our house. When police barricaded itself with the politicians, with the Slovenian politicians inside. American politicians and Americans, when they were inside of the house, country, were extremely, well, they were trying to be very nice in a sense of covert crimes they committed in the background during hosting me in their countries, whether that be Germany, Austria, America, Britain, and so on. They didn't want to be, maybe they were afraid they would be caught on a, with a few exceptions, they were very, very careful about their conduct here inside of our house. It was different in their countries, but here they were very, very cautious about it. No, Slovenian side looked exactly like this. Now let's talk about the Čuš people. It's like this. I'm gonna put the link right below about the Čuš people. I wrote the article about that one in Slovenian language already. Slovenia was hiding behind three important issues. Since my birth, since I was 3 months of age, is when Josip Broz Tito commenced this case. One main issue was a greater Serbian ethnic state known as Yugoslavia, where Slovenia used to be a republic. Republic Slovenia. Therefore, if you wanted to say Slovenes are doing this, no, it's not Slovenes. This is Yugoslavia. It's a greater Serbian ethnic state. Serbs are the main one. The second issue that Slovenia was hiding behind was Soviet Union. At that time it was a Soviet Union. Soviet Union was not even allowed to say Russia. From Slovenian perspective, it was all about the Soviet Union. Sovietsky, Sovietskaya, etc., etc. Well, upon the breakup of the Soviet Union, Russia separated from the Soviet Union. Well, the republics separated. Lithuania was the first one, I think, that separated. The fall of the Soviet Union, it was Russia. Putin is Russia. Forget about Yeltsin. Putin was involved in this stuff since my childhood. Putin is Russia became, I'm not going to say it was a goat, blamed, a victim or anything like this. With the Serbs, I don't know. Whether was it Slovenian side or was it the Russian side or Serbian side, definitely was. They enforced extermination. Slovenia did so extremely successfully thanks to Russia, thanks to the Russian diplomatic circles. And it was at the pleasure of the Russia and Serbia. I don't know who was more insane in this, but that's how they want to have it. So, if you wanted to say Slovenia, no, we small country, we small people, we have to do this because it's an evil Russia that does this to us. And in Yugoslavia, it used to be Serbs that are doing this to us. They always had an excuse. And then that biggest excuse that Čuši people, Slovenes, Čuši used on me was a mask of the Hitler, of the neo-Nazi Germany they placed over my face, which is a universal cause. Whatever country you would go around the world, people see Nazism, Hitler is a form of evil. So, they positioned themselves even in a roles of victims and, in fact, pledge support for the fight against the Nazism, so in the name of the history would never repeat. One I am not going to go into because I'm not a supporter of the Nazism, but I am from the family where both sides of the family, in fact my father's side of the family was already on a train station listed for departure to Auschwitz or to the Dachau extermination camp because of my grandfather's activities during the World War II and anti-Nazi activities. He got the highest order for the bravery against the Nazism in post-World War II from Josip Broz Tito. And from my mother's side, her brother was killed as a partisan, and all the children from the single mother, with a single mother included, were involved in a communist party. Every one of them was enrolled in National Liberation Movement. So you can trust me that I do know something about the Čuš, about the Čuši, about the Slovenci, about the Slovenian people. If something like this, God forbid, ever happens to any one of you, the first thing that you want to do as a precaution, yes, you want to distance yourself from the nation that you supposedly are part of it. That's basically from see nothing, hear nothing, no extermination nation that claims that you are part of one, that you are a member of one. You want to distance yourself You want to distance yourself from one and condemn one for the crimes against humanity with everything you have, as much as you can. That's the number one thing. Because the one that is the closest to you, and like I said, God forbid, that is the death that is embracing you, is the one that's going to make you perish in a most disgusting, despicable, without absolutely anyone having the ability to even suggest anything way. So if it happens to you like this, and it's weird, because I am native from Slovenia. I'm not going to say that I trace generations here, but I don't trace to any other location, genetic-wise, than to Slovenia. You don't want to have nothing to do with it. And if it happens, so God forbid, that it's your family involved in it, and or that the state, like Slovenia, is using your family to make you disappear, invisibly disappear. Now what you want to do is, you want to push your own family, distance yourself from one as far as you can, and expose one as much as possible, because it doesn't work like this. The most dangerous are the people that are closest to you, because it's according to the legal rights that pertain to them, even have the ability to decide about life and death in your case if something happens to you. That's a scum. You don't want to have nothing to do with it. It is just as simple as that. I'm going to start talking about the Čuši here. You're going to find the link below. I want to talk about the issue of von der Bellen. From the Austrian von der Bellen is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Angela Merkel. You were able to see I even started this video with previous, his last name is Islam. American diplomacy, which frequently have used those who were involved in crime. They were using them for multiple purposes. That's basically to condition my sanity. Not really to condition my sanity, but to condition my mental health, mental state, diagnosis, Slovenian diagnosis from 2012, when Slovenia proceeded to label me as a paranoid schizophrenic after 38 years of MK lynching bestiality. Yeah? So you have a group of criminals, and they had this all over United States of America, Western Europe, and throughout the world, China included, every country, India, you name it. And you would get one of the criminals commit a traffic offense, or maybe the criminal committed the traffic offense, and rather than being charged in some cases in the past with a criminal offense, being sentenced to the certain penalty, etc., etc., he was obligated to refresh this violation together with police, who was using, they always use double camera system, one with a timestamp, the other one without a timestamp, during which play rehearsals of this crime. They would continue to deliver me back on a crime scene, wherever they would make a stop or whatever it would be, and now they pose with those kind of videos. Or, and in many cases, probably, people did not even commit crimes and were simply used and are simply used as actors. exactly for the purpose of what I said. I'm not going to say for the purposes to prove that I'm mentally ill or whatever. I'm not going to go into it. I already explained everything pertaining to this case. And identical to the issue is, so what exactly police does with this? Well, you have a criminal stopped by police. Now go and tell, well, you know, this guy was involved in torture and so on and so forth, etc., through the Google algorithm, which delivers you on the desktop. It shoots you these videos to remind you of not only of the police, you know, interaction during the traffic, repeated traffic violation, rehearsed over and over violation, but the whole circle of people that was involved behind this, with these people who also participated, and whom they are now, because I was told, well, if you will be nice, maybe we will have these people talk on your behalf. You know, we will identify them as, you know, if you will talk nice about them, etc., you will receive our assistance. You will have. We will admit that this crime happened not in 2024 or 2025 or 2023, as the body cam shows, but it happened, I don't know, in 2012, 2010, 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18, etc., right? This is what the police pledge was. American police claimed that they will even have, I'm going to put the link below that explains all about this issue. However, I did not mention, they even claimed that they will have all the police officers who do the traffic stops like that with the people involved in the picture. They will go all together at once. They will walk on the court and they will report themselves. So American police suggested that this is a form of assistance, form of help to me, and to see whether I will be capable to identify the suspects and or the repeated incidents from MK Ultra. This is what American police insisted it's going to be. Or if I will be very bad, nothing. Or if I will be very bad, nothing. We will only say we don't know nothing, etc., etc. And you already know what that means. Man, even the fucking cars, they're always using cars. You can see that they always using certain element with which they can prove that this was actually recorded in 2024 or 2025 or in post 2020 when the car models changed. Even for that shit, you can see that there is absolutely no fucking sincerity in lies of American law enforcement, in lies of American, what the fuck can I say? This is other than dunk, trash, shit, human dunk, garbage, murderers, assassins, killers, brethren of the Slovenian scum that right here persists through the Novo Mesto city as well as throughout the Slovenia. Obviously, American law enforcement did everything they possibly could to protect the interests of the killers from Slovenia. We're going to square that issue away. There is absolutely no doubt about what your task is, what you're doing, what your whereabouts are. And I'm just glad I never was naive about it, because I am the person you're going to grow mental illness inside of me through this kind of issues. Fuck you, motherfucker. If I'll be killed, I'll be killed. There ain't nothing wrong with being killed. That's fine. People get killed. All the fucking time people get killed. But I'll be fucking damned if I'm going to give murderers, killers, abusers, torturers. American police was the one who with the sheriff departments did enforce this MK Ultra circles, circles of death, highways of death. Redistribute me throughout the world and witness torture. I'll be fucking damned if I'll be silent about what you guys were involved and what you guys were doing. At least more than 5,000 of you since my childhood was involved in this. It's okay to get killed, but I'm not going to be silent about this stuff. And so now we have the same shit going on with von der Bellen, Österreich, der Habsburgers, Liberlanders. The same shit they're doing. Torture location which Milosevic personally visited, accompanied with the Slovenes. Milan KUČAN on who knows how many occasions. TANJA FAJON on who knows how many occasions. Robert GOLOB on who knows how many occasions. Now they're turning ritual location into location of position themselves as victims, basically, as a incident took place. So the Austrian police, what they do, and I did explain, and I will put the link below also. Because this shit started to pile up. It will be the best thing for me to write down. One, it's a Nazi swastika. About the Nazi swastika. How the German and Austrian police started to play with the Nazi swastika issue, assisting DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik, Eastern Germany. How they supported Josip Broz Tito, Milan KUČAN, Serbs, KGB, UDBA people when I was a child, with idea to portray me, to make me go to write the neo-Nazi swastikas and so on and so forth, driving me insane. I did the video about Austrian police, how they were involved, how they would redistribute me through minorities whom they employed for the work, for the job, as a police officers, together with the Germans, for torture purposes. It was white Germans, white Austrians, ethnic Germans that would introduce me into violence, beginning with their presidents, prime ministers, etc., etc., and then we were using, the first they would be using is minorities employed by police, by the German and Austrian police for extreme torture purposes, for incitement into neo-Nazism, for incitement into fascism, into hatred, with which they believe they can easily regulate people afterwards, do with people whatever they're pleased. That's how that became like one of the major industries pertaining to the Germany and Austria in post-World War II. Remember, Adolf Hitler is Austrian. He was born in Austria and immigrated to the Germany. Pershing, not Pershing, what the fuck is the name? This Peršman, yeah, Peršman. Yeah, what a fucking baboon this is. This is fucking unprecedented. A real baboon. I mean, just one look at that baboon and you get the goosebumps for sure. Museum Peršman is the name, in a province of Carinthia, KARNTEN, Koroška in Slovenian language. This location hosted the biggest garbage that was in Yugoslavia. They would come there. Serbs became excited about the prospect of torture done on me in this area, through this museum, where they executed 11 members. We did not get to this here. At this location, the SS murdered 11 Slovenian civils, of which there were 7 children. Yeah, so this was this 11 Slovenes murdered, of which there was 7 children. This goes everything on account of neo-Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, Austria, basically Germany, World War II, the common cause, which I suggested earlier. That's humanity's pledge to fight Nazism, fascism, so that nothing like this could ever possibly repeat again. Right? That's a common cause. As I explained, this is what Slovenia, the mask, the iron mask that Slovenia hang over my face. My goodness, before I knew even what Hitler is, before I even knew what neo-Nazi Germany is, just as I pointed out, they were poisoning me together with their British comrades from London, Londres, London, Buckingham Palace, Prince Charles, Prince Philip, Prince Edward, Prince Andrew, Edward the Least. But those two, these 3 guys with the Philip, with the father, these guys were fucking obsessed with promotion of the Nazism, fascism, for all the wrong reasons. I did also explain, it's also the stuff I explained about this merchant, how they try to poison me. The point here is that neo-Nazism, Hitlerism, swastika, etc., started in my case. Swastika not, because I fucking understood nothing about who Hitler was and who Nazi Germany was as a baby, as a child. I knew nothing about it. I finally started to grasp, and they suggested me that I'm an extremely disappointing child, dumb. And they did so that I would grasp as much as possible in a classroom for not knowing who Hitler is, who Nazi Germany was. The first time I learned what Hitler was, Nazi Germany, etc., when I came to the grammar school at age 6, 7, they started to talk about these issues, or maybe even later. I don't know. It was like 2nd grade or something like this when they started to talk about the Hitler and stuff like this, I think. Something like that. Oh, I was already age, I don't know. Oh, what the fuck? Age 8 or age 9 when in school they started to talk about the Hitler. I think it was maybe in the 3rd grade or 4th grade, I don't know, when we had the subject history, whatever. Actually, no, in the 1st grade already, because it was all about the Josip Broz Tito. Yeah! It was all about the Josip Broz Tito. I did show you the commercial about Joseph Stalin. I'm going to put you the video below. I'm going to put you the video below so that it was all about this Joseph Stalin ideology like this. You could be fucking bitten up or whatever the fuck you would be. Whatever the fuck you would be. The propaganda was so strong that the stuff they were doing to me, I was not capable to see through. I was not capable to see Slovenes for what Slovenes were and Yugoslavia for what Yugoslavia was. And I was bitten night and day. Every fucking day, herds of kids attacked me at the school. And I'm not going to go into MK Ultra and beatings at home that I endured from my father and my mom. Violence 24/7, yet the propaganda was so strong that I did not even know who the fuck I was. Was I male or female? To je družba pretepencov. This was a society of a beaten up people, broken people. This perfectly reminds me of, you see the guy over there wearing the pajama or something like that, of myself. You would have also people that were so beaten up, so abused in a Soviet society, Yugoslav society, standing, beaten up, tortured right next to elites, to the children whose lives were perfect, more than normal. These kids traveled at my expense, Europe and world, yet beaten up, whatever done to you, you would not see through for what you were. You were never seeing yourself, and it was actually illegal, it was actually criminal, as I was taught, to see yourself, because you were part of the socialism. You're part of the communism. And the communism, the socialism, this is about we. Us. We. Nothing about I. You. Them. They. You understand what I'm saying? So whichever way the fuck, carry on. Shut up until you're fucking killed. Dead. Sentenced through psychiatric hospital, or killed through whatever incident, whatever they do to you, or maybe kill you right there in front of your family. Nobody see, hear, know nothing. Society. This is what Yugoslavia was.
За все, что вы сделали для нашего народа, для нас.
Мира и счастья всем вам, друзья мои.
This is what this guy, the stuff that I described, this is exactly what this guy is. That's what this is. That's what this is. And I'll be fucking damn. You understand me? I'll be fucking damn, von der Bellen, if I will tolerate you. I'll be fucking damn if I will tolerate Habsburgs. I'll be fucking damn if I'm not gonna brought your Austrian police. You supervised the torture that went on at this location here. You guys were present and you watched this stuff done to me by the Slovenian side. By all the neighbors in the area where they would deliver me for torture purposes, talking about the psychiatrist cops, novo mesto police, etc., etc. I'll be fucking damned if I will allow you to get away with it. And I allow you to get away with it just by being silent about it. Renal failure is a serious problem. I don't know if I'm going to be capable, if I have a chance to deliver you to the court and destroy you. But the world must understand, the world must know about who and what you are. The difference between the Austria and between what you see here is this here. This is probably the best difference that I can demonstrate you. You're not going to do that with me. I supported Austria and Germany unconditionally since I was baby, since I was child. This ends. This is not allowed. You're not going to be doing this to me anymore. You try to cover up. This is what I'm accusing Austria. You're doing your best to cover up for Slovenian side by creating an incident at the location, which was a heavy location, MK Ultra location. Ultra violence went on there. You did not do this to help, but basically to contaminate, to basically release in the public with anticipation. I'm going to keep silent about it. I'm not going to go along, and this is also to tell American police that for all the cases I did not mention, I will follow up if I ever make it through this. I will report you through the crime, through the international court, criminal court, file charges against you for the crimes against humanity. I'm not down with you. I'm not going to go down with your see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing ideology which you share with the Slovenian side. You're involved in torture pertaining to this location here since I was child. You had all kinds of politicians from Serbia. You hosted this animal here. Her name is TANJA FAJON. Because of the agreement that she had made, this animal here, this animal here, this animal here knew with the TANJA FAJON about this incident with the Austrian police, because von der Bellen, not because von der Bellen, but because I noticed that these animals were always making themselves as invisible as possible during the past, I don't know, 20 years. They would always quietly in a shadow travel there, try to make themselves as invisible as possible, but nobody can make himself invisible in front of the police in the country where there is a police, because these people from this museum, etc., etc., they're not first. They replaced the people from the museum. In this museum here, they had, or maybe the neighbors, I don't know. They had daughters, and these daughters got married. And one of the guys, or a couple, or whatever it is, it was like brown-haired or whatever. They removed all the people because supposedly during MK Ultra, that's how crazy I was through this hatred, what they were doing with me. I disliked people even with the brown hair, apparently. They brought themselves people with the blonde hair or whatever. Austrian government did. Gesturing me so that I would see myself in Austrian government and so on, so they try to accommodate me and so on. Yeah, you don't worry about me. I'm fine. If I'm gonna need any kind of special assistance, if I'll feel issues something, I am gonna check in psychiatry myself and get treatment for that. You don't have to worry about it. You just need to be held responsible for the crimes you committed. Talking to Austria right now. There were, I think, 2-3 daughters or whatever that got married or whatever, and one was the one that took this museum or whatever, or maybe they had other people taking care of the museum. I don't know what the fuck the problem is with this. At one point in time, this was not even a museum. From what I recall, this was not a museum. That's how long this was involved. I don't know how long ago this was not a museum. Probably that this became like a museum, I don't know. Angela Merkel knows all about this. Maybe when I was like in, I don't know, 6th grade of the grammar school or something like this. Maybe this was like in 1982 or something like that, I don't know. You know, this torture at this location, this location here, where you can go and you can see here, you're going to see the von der Bellen posing over there, Museum Peršman. Von der Bellen started to use this for his political agenda here. Yeah, so that he could pose, you know, because it's a business. It's a business. Clearly that this is business. That's why I don't give a fuck about when I see the politicians, when I see these people in front of this memorials and stuff like this, when I see this stuff like that, when I see these things, you know, you're not convincing me in absolutely any way. You don't give a, none of you give a fuck about what went on, how many died, who died. you're doing this because it's a business. He would deliver me, talking about this guy, this von der Bellen. You're gonna see him at the memorial. Shit. I never have gone through this stuff here, and I don't want to go through this stuff here. But I used to be delivered to this location like a neo-Nazi, you know, by von der Bellen, by the Slovenian side, who witnessed humiliations that Austrian politicians, von der Bellen in particular, would express in front of them. Recorded himself on how there should be this Austrian soldier standing, and then von der Bellen laying the Vanets, I don't know, what is it, rat, in front of him on this memorial. Yeah. I did not use this here. This is helpful. And the same thing did Italian Prime Minister, actually President, did with me in Italy, in Basovica. They were doing the same thing. They would also, like an animal, deliver me there. And demand from me to watch them meeting the Slovenian side, and where they were expressing their compassion for the victims of the neo-Nazi or the fascist regime, with which, however, I have to disappoint Austria and Germany. I only have as much as is explained on my blog, just as much as I stated in this blog. I will hold you accountable for a lot of issues. You can imagine what you did equals to what your Nazi soldiers did during the World War II, and exceeds. I would be always humiliated by the Italian military, or not always, whoever they have used, like in this case the Austrian Guard that you see right there. In that sense, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we are talking about. It's not going to go away. You enforce torture through the local farms and through this museum, hosting also the Slovenian side and Serbs. But Slovenian side in particular was extremely violent. Just remember one thing: even if you call yourself anti-fascist or anti-Nazi, that does not mean that you are not a criminal if you traffic people, if you engage in violence in the name of the anti-Nazism, anti-fascism, with the goal to develop hatred in an individual, based on which you believe you will financially profit from within and or portray yourself internationally as an acceptable person. I was warned about this stuff because it was a kind of anti-fascist international community involved in it, etc., etc. But I will say to you one thing. I will say to you, I'm going to fuck you up. I will destroy you. I'm going to imprison you for what you have done. I will treat you the way you treat Joseph Fritzl. What you made out of Joseph Fritzl is what I will do with you, for the world to see why. That's all there is. And again, I thank my lucky stars and God I was not born in Austria, and nor that I did not succeed with life in Austria or Germany when I attempted even to do so. That's all I gotta say about this video. That animal right there von der Bellen, that was truly incredible. He got on the picture sometimes as a main politician, Austrian politician, that started to oppose. Nah. If they had any decent intentions, they would have resolved it, but they just wanted, like, some kind of war between me and von der Bellen, etc., etc. This guy was talking about something about, I don't know, Jewish background or his wife or whatever. Fuck that. you have a totally different kind of problem, and it doesn't matter whether you're Jew or you're not the Jew, whether you're Roma or you're black or you're white, whatever the fuck you are. You're not immune from the persecution for the crimes against humanity I describe on my blog. I'm charging you with the crimes, just as I explain in this blog. Nothing will come out of this case. Incident which took place in a complete agreement with this, with the Slovenian side. Totally in agreement with them. If anyone, it will be Austrians that will be charged. It is just the incident that took place is just as I described. Tanja, FAJON and Borut Pahar for the last 20 years were visiting this location in a shadow secretly. They didn't want to be seen at all on the picture, but they were visiting. And this is basically done so that it could counter any claims. Obviously, it looks like they did not found Tanja, FAJON or Borut Pahar or any notable Slovenian that would be there. They anticipated razzia. Razzia, I understand they had canine dogs, they had the drones, they had, I don't know, 60 police officers who participated. I don't know how many police officers, Austrian police officers who participated in this. Raid. It's a raid. In English language, that would be a raid. Yeah. So, it's not going to be like that. I don't know what Austrian police identified here, whom they caught here, but this is not going to go down with me. I will file criminal charges if I make it through this against the Austrian state literally for supporting and inciting the Slovenian side into violence against me and the territory of the Austria since my earliest childhood. That's all there is to it. So, big noise, a lot of noise they did, and this is what it. The Slovenian side protested. They wanted this to be, I don't know. The Slovenian side, in other words, is going to win because it's all, like I stated, this stuff is all agreed. It was all agreed from the Vienna. Vienna was the one that arranged this meeting at the expense of the Austrian police, basically. That's all there is to it. Yeah. Yeah. And involve thugs like this criminal here, Rudy Volk. This was extremely violent thug on the picture so that they would not be identified and so on. I'll get to you guys. I'll get to you as soon as I get this case, as I deliver this case to the end. I don't know how long United Nations will be capable to see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing. But I know one thing, that if I'm going to go down, I will die like a man. And if I make it through this, there will be many years of jail that is awaiting you. You guys are absolutely animals. And all the crime that Austrian state, German state does, you know, Austria and Germany don't even have the government. They don't have the government. They don't have any kind of government. The government of Austria and of Germany is the government of Poland, the government of Czech Republic, the government of Slovakia, the government of Serbia, the government of Slovenia, etc., etc., etc. In other words, a little bit sensitive language, the Austrian and German government willingly so, they love it. They suck the dick from Polacks, Slovenes, Czechs, Slovaks, etc., and they do so because it's profitable for them. Austria made a lot of money through the Russian oil, through the Russian gas. Together with the German, it came out as a major business, major venture, in very, very profitable business. And another issue is that's how they bring the governments together. You know, the crime, Eastern Europe, it's all about the crime. So, you know, if in Austria and Germany, they give you whatever the fuck you look. If you go to Austria and Germany to get yourself a prostitutes, they're available. They always were. If you go to buy weapons, whatever, it's available. If you go and you want to buy lies, crime, violence, organized crime, it's available. It's got to do with the World War II, the way the World War II ended for the Austrian, for the Germany, but more than anything, it's about the hypocrisy. It's what the German and Austria. I'm fortunate not to call that my homeland, to put it plain and simple. Fortunate to not call it my homeland. Everything is for sale there. Human dignity, they sell people, they trade with the people. They sell people. They put people on a market and sell them like a bananas, literally. If they see the need for something, they sell it, even if it's not theirs. Germans were trying to sell me to Thailand. But not only Germans, but Americans were trying to sell me to Thailand. And then they were selling me to Chinese. And then they were selling me to whoever the fuck, etc., etc., etc. Demanded from me to see myself in them. Then what they do is they throw you like a banana on the market. This is a political NKH. It's how the politics operate. That's how the politicians operate. That's what Germany, that's what Austria is. Yeah? So, no pasará, like somebody said. Criminal charges against Austrian government, against von der Bellen, who, in agreement with the Slovenian TANJA FAJON, in agreement with the Slovenian side, Robert Golob, have created, just as stated, the incident at this location. That's all for this video. It is very important for me to identify this for what it is. Here's a little bit commercial for my blog. Why don't we take a date and time? There you go. A little earlier, it was a better picture. It was this picture here. Shit. Will we get maybe to that one? I like this picture here. I like this kind of a gaslighting picture. This is the picture based on MK Ultra. Maxwell appeals to Supreme Court. We are appealing not only to the Supreme Court, but to the President himself. Just like Maxwell attorney Marcus said, our government made a deal and it must honor it. Article: Ghislaine Maxwell was involved in Mount Everest of the schizophrenia. I don't know how is it, who she's going to be appealing to, etc., but Donald Trump was successful at making Epstein disappear of the picture. No, I don't think actually Epstein is dead. I don't think so. And I did explain the issues behind the Maxwell and so on. So America is hunting for a lot of proofs of schizophrenia in my case, which is no wonder, right? It's about the most heinous, disgusting crime United States of America was ever in the history of United States of America implicated in. The most disgusting crime yet. Where every FBI Central Intelligence Agency boss, director I should say, an American president, was involved in since 1972. So that's all I gotta say for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Till I kick your ass next time. Very, very important stuff that I need to declare is about the police. The German police demanded from me to see them nice. Basically Austrian police. The guys, even on the picture, some blonde guy. Let me see if I get a glimpse of the this. Oh, they're still hallucinating about a shooting in New York City. All right, man. Okay. Dogodivščine slovenskih študentov v Austriji. Yeah. It's like this. The police officers, you don't show them in front of this museum. Yeah. Yeah. They did this kind of a raid. Talking about the Austrian police already before. This is not the first time they have done it. They have done the raid already before. The first time the Austrian police did this raid, oh, there you go. As a picture to remind me of that. Ah, there you go. This is perfect. And you see the blonde guy over there. Okay, semi-blonde guy. The first time they started to do the raids, talking about the Austrian police, I don't know. Since 2008, the presence absolutely, but the raids that they demanded from me, they did them repeatedly on this location. Of course, that depends on the group of the people, depending on what kind of group of the people is there. Therefore, identifying people, this Austrian police have done it already before at this location. They started to do the raids on this place in 2008, 2006, and yeah, 2015. Yeah, and they told me, yeah, they were very nice with me, a police, but how nice the fuck are you if, you know, you did everything possible for me to go back to Slovenia. Why were you doing the raids in this Peršman museum if you were not doing it to cover up for your Austrian politicians, Slovenian and Austrian politicians? Why were you doing it? That's what I call organized crime. I could easily get killed in Slovenia at just about any time, or anywhere else for that matter. They kill you and they say that you're mentally ill, whatever. They had an incident. Once you're dead, you don't speak. Nobody understands the language of the dead people other than police. And that's all there is. You're gone. How you guys went to the distance, you Austrian police, to cover up for the Slovenian psychiatry is unprecedented. I was thrown into psychiatric hospital in 2012. How were you guys capable to watch me if you care about me? You did care about me, seeing dead. to be seen as dead. This end of this video is gonna end like this, with a group of Slovenes from what's this here? Here something here. Let me see this here again. Hop. Incident slovenskih študentov v Austriji. Slovenskih študentk in študentov na Dunaju. The students, the female and male students from the Vienna. Can you imagine how scheisse this is? The female and male students. Wow. That's that much for the grammar. I don't know German properly, but in a Slovenian language, sounds like extremistic. Usually is students, also in English. I don't know that for anybody would go and bother himself or herself that would go with a female and with a male students. What the fuck? WTH. Actually F at the end. The founder of this anti-fascist club in Vienna is actually Germans, Austrian Germans. The origins of this anti-fascist club is all German. That's how it started. It was a nice group of Germans who ran this anti-fascist club in Vienna, supposedly even related to von der Bellen, and they would travel also to this location. They became involved in my case, sometimes in, I don't even fucking know, 2004, 2005, 2006, this is all Vienna, 2004. Anti-fascist club, ran by the Germans, completely German, totally German. I was very friendly with them, nice. I have no problems with the fascism, with the anti-fascism, with the anti-Nazism. All I asked for is to have nice people around me. Something that could not be said for the Slovenian side. So this guy, who was a little bit bulky, introduced into this organization also Slovenian. Sometimes in 2008 it was the first Slovenian that wandered, a student who wandered in this organization, and now it says here Slovenskih študentov v Austriji. Now everything appears to be Slovenian students in Austria. So I do not understand a lot of issues. This is also one of the issues that I have to stress about, for which von der Bellen even suggested they will prove that I am not a fascist, that I'm not a Nazi. That hatred only pertained to the Slovenian side. Yeah, of course it did. You don't have to be a genius to know about this kind of stuff. Von der Bellen was involved in this stuff since I was a child. I find what I stated right here, right now, is bizarre. So that's all I wanted to say as far as these students from Vienna. It appears that Slovenes have taken over the organization, the anti-fascist organization, which once was completely German. And I'm going to use this, of course, as a MKUltra proof. Next to what I told you, they substituted people with semi-blonde people at this Peršman. This is a museum. Maybe these are carers or neighbors or whatever it is that they were taking care of this museum. I would have to go there, and I definitely will. As soon as this ends, I will go there. Yeah. I'm gonna go like this, and like this. I'm gonna go like that. Okay, this is a Google Maps. That's all I did. I didn't pay any attention really to this stuff, but I'm actually even happy that on the Google Maps you cannot see shit. It's good. No, well, now I already saw the picture, so it's too late. Vlada Republike Slovenija, you see this this guy here. He's catching a bread. He's catching a bread. Yeah. Okay. Gobec vrteti, usran čuški gobec vrteti, veliko gobcati, gobec vrteti, veliko. Gobec otresat, Slovenci. Smrduhi, v pravem smislu besede. Golazen. I don't see that, but there was another guy who was involved in torture that would repeatedly deliver to him, none of you motherfuckers is gonna escape from this. Trust me. Zverine, proklete slovenske čuške. Smrt golazen človeštva. Dihuri. Izmečki. Lej, vidiš? Takole lej. Plesen človeška. Tukaj imate gnoj slovenski, vse napisani o čuših. Sem vam enkrat že napisal, pa vam še tle in tu v slovenskem jeziku gnoj. Veš tole čuš slovenski, preber si dobro tlele. This case is gonna end, and you scum are gonna see me there, talking also to Austrian police. I will get there, I will meet you, and I will meet you under my circumstances, under my conditions. Smrt slovenskih hudičev prokleti, golazen plesniva. I am going to do one more part on a neo-Nazi swastikas. It's this is going to be the link you're going to see. I'm going to put right down below. You're going to get the link about the Čuši. Slovenes were heavily involved in torture in Carinthia and of course in every village throughout the Slovenia. Milan KUČAN wasted no time. Milan KUČAN was a big boss, police boss, in what used to be known as Yugoslavia. He was the owner of the police in Slovenia during the Yugoslavia. This was the owner, this was Baron, this was the boss, this was the master, this was the owner. Declared as a communist, Milan KUČAN. Well, the Slovenes, as soon as they got independence, they elected one for their first Slovenian president. So the message is clear. Also from me, Čuši. When, God forbid, but if you ever find yourself in a situation like I did, the first thing you want to get rid of it, the first thing you want to put on notice is your nation, your people. This is the first thing, the biggest mistake I have carried around with me for way too long, and I was even condemned by the foreign politicians for praising this scum here from Slovenia. That's the first one you want to put on notice, because nobody in this world has the right to ethnically exterminate you genocide you for the purposes of their political agenda. Actually, for the purposes of Serbian ethnic cleansing. It was done during Yugoslavia. In Slovenia, since the country became independent in 1991, it was for the purposes of ethnic cleansing, for the purposes of Slovenian ethnic cleansing. So it doesn't matter, even if you're, more so, if you are from a certain nation and you are a native from there, you have the right to file criminal charges against your own nation, against your own people, because it goes to prove, if it's such a horrendous crimes that are involved, that these are not your people. It goes to prove that these are the foreign people. If you're native, you're native. The native should never go and exterminate the native people. Those who exterminate the native people never ever are native people. What happens with the people who exterminate their own people and are condemned by the international community for doing stuff like this? They're seen as foreigners in the country where the person is from. If the person distances itself, no longer see himself as a part of the nation where he is from, because of the acts of the genocide, extermination procedure against him, the people, the society, the country, the nation becomes alien nation. Unless they have a capacity to prove that this man is from somewhere else, and or that he committed in fact some kind of crimes, etc., and or they're capable to prove a case of the mental illness against him or her. And so that we know what this shit is all about. We understand the German and Austrian and American politics toward my case. I understand what you're doing. I completely understand why they hired you, what you're doing, what kind of task you carry on. I get it. This case you're never going to prove is a case of mental illness. It's a problem if you cannot prove the person that he is a criminal, that he did something. And you do stuff like this, it's a problem. Then the last choice that you have is a mental illness, and this is what Slovenia enforced since my age 3 months. You guys are foreigners, you guys are ČUŠI. You're not from here and you never were from here. You understand? None of you ever was from here.